I don't have a base. I'm like online fully. Because why? I mean, there's like 500 agents in India. They have an office, or they say they have, but then they don't, and they take your money and disappear. Or they consult students now on radio, newspapers, and everything. But I think it's all very old. I think the future is fully online. You can totally like, you don't have to have an office, because why? Office is unnecessary expenses, paper, rent, hiring people and stuff. For what? I don't have any costs. Like, I can be anywhere. I'm super flexible, and I think this is the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like your life. I want to live
It's
that life.
Well, it's tough life. Well, you know what? Everything you can achieve in this life if you have hard work. Sometimes I work 16 hours a day. Like, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that like an article on my page and on my website takes me 7 hours to write. Like, you only see what is available there, and you see the end.
Yes.
Like, I have to post a video today, YouTube video. I made it.
Mhm.
It's called One Day in Germany. I made videos when I was in Germany, and I'm gonna connect them now. But it takes me 3 to 5 hours to edit this video. So I would do it today. But yeah, so everybody has their own path and their own happiness. And I think I found it now. So this is what I like to do. But it's a lot of work, because when you're working at the company, let's say you're an engineer or you're a marketer or you are an accountant, you have your role. When you have your business, you have all of these roles on your own. So I do my own accounting and my own marketing, and I talk to you guys. So I'm doing the customer service, and I'm doing sales. It's pretty tough, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have not to worry for our job, right? Later on.
I don't think you have to worry. The only thing
Because
is
you are
you have,
already there running a good business.
and I was Russian before. In Germany, they like Indians much more than Russians. So no, it's not only because of that. It's the good time to go, because Germany needs foreigners right now. They don't need just foreigners, they need educated foreigners. So it means that educated foreigners have no problems at all. Because of low unemployment rate and because of your permission to work, it's a win-win scenario. I highly advise you to start learning German, as I said, from the moment you apply for visa. You don't have to, because I have so many friends who know nothing in German, but they have good jobs, better than my salary. They're fine, but I want you to have a bigger choice. So you take a job of your dreams and not just a job. So for that reason, I want you to start learning German from the time you apply for visa. You can find jobs, especially IT, data science, computer jobs, then engineering jobs, don't require any German language. And the minimum salary for these jobs is at least 48,000 euro per year. It's a minimum by law, so nobody can give you less. And that's what I really like about Germany. They respect qualified workers and they protect your rights. So when I was getting my visa for work, my employer wanted to give me a lower salary. An immigration office called him and said, "You have to raise her salary." That was cool.
That's
I love
great.
it. I love it because the moment you're like becoming a part of the system, they care about your taxes. They're protecting you. So the moment you get your first job, that's it. You're super safe in Germany from that moment on. I let you see what is available there. Um, but I'm not going to push you into the bad ones. But you have to have a choice. So sometimes students choose the choice which is not my preferred. I let them learn from your mistakes. Like, it's up to you. But I always advise my students, don't choose the cheapest and don't choose the most expensive. Choose something in the middle, because the cheapest is in Germany, meaning the worst. In the middle, there are a few non-for-profit schools who actually do a lot for students, but they are not advertising. So this is the best option to choose from. Alternatively, I started working now with two schools, EBS and HHL in Leipzig. They're like Ivy League in Germany. But for that, I would only recommend apply in September and do a GMAT and an IELTS. So it's really up to you. Well,
Let's
as
see.
long as you have 6.5, I'm safe. Like, 6.5 is good for all programs, but two. Only two require 7. The rest require 6.5, so it's totally fine. what are your dreams? What do you want to do in the future? Do you want to live in Germany? What kind of program you want to do?
Yeah, I want to live in Germany, and I want to do MBA so that I can work in a good company with a good salary.
Okay. Well, MBA or MA or MSc, it is the same in Germany. You have work opportunities and work permission. And sometimes companies perceive MA or MSc better than MBA, or at the opposite. It's really very subjective. So a stereotype that MBA would just grant you a good job is a stereotype. It all depends on
Okay.
you. There are people with
Okay.
bachelor who secure good jobs. There are people with master MA or MSc secure good jobs. It's about how you sell yourself, your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your motivation, your cover letter,
Yeah.
and your work experience. You have to get work experience while you're in Germany before you finish your studies. You have to get internship for sure.
Okay.
Like you arrive, start applying, or even start applying from the time when you're in your country. Just take a look. Why not? But you have one work experience in Germany, that's it. Because the reason is, if you say, I have 4 years of work experience in India, in Germany, they will be like, well, you guys work differently. They do
Yeah.
not know how efficiently you work, what kind of
Yeah.
stuff you do. So in Germany, they
Mm.
want you to have one work experience during your
Mm.
studies before you get the full-time job because they want to see if you're ready with your work experience for this country. And if you
Mm.
had internship already, it means you are. So that's when, the moment you apply for jobs in Germany, if you have at least one internship, they don't look at education anymore. They look at only
Okay.
your work experience already.
Okay.
Germans are like
Okay.
that. So that's why you have to find,
Mm.
or I help you find a good school which actually will help you with internship, or internship is a mandatory part of your studies because that's
Okay.
it. Then it's safe.
Mm.
The more German you
And
know, the better the options. Sorry?
how about like suppose after completing our education, if we want to move on from Germany, that Schengen countries are there, right? We can move to any other countries for job
You
or
can't.
not?
No, you're not allowed. Well, to begin with, you don't want to do that because the moment you leave Germany, you lose all your visa history. So don't do that. Do that after you have permanent residence. Permanent
Okay.
residence takes you 5 years, out of
Mhm.
which 2 years is education and 3 years is paying taxes. Study for 2 years, work for 3 years, get permanent residence, and then move to a different country if you really want to. If you leave for a day and you're done with Germany, like you don't have employment or studies, and you leave Germany, your visa is out. Like your history is gone. Like don't do this. Like I saw people making this mistake, and it took them then 9 years to get permanent residence because they had to come back and do it all over again. And frankly speaking, there is no better choice in Europe for employment right now. um, let's say what matters a lot. If you studied in Germany, you have a network, you have connections. If you go to another country, you don't have it. You start from the very beginning. And if you want another country, then apply to that country from the beginning to study. Study there and then get a job there. There is another type of permanent residence. You can apply for it after 4 years of paying taxes. It means 6 years into living in Germany. It's permanent residence for European Union, not for Germany, but for European Union. It's called Daueraufenthalt. It means that you can work in any part of Europe and you do not lose your German residence.
Okay.
It's 6 years into living in the country. But that also doesn't make sense because after 7 years you can apply for German passport. So do you really need it? Because with German passport you don't need visa sponsorship to any other European country. Whereas if you have a permanent residence in Germany, you remain Indian. So you need a sponsorship from another country if you want to move. When you're studying in Germany, you have permission to work. And when you finish the degree in Germany, you have permission to stay and to search for a job and to work. The moment you're out, as if you've never been here, you would have to reapply from the very beginning for everything. Like, don't do this to yourself. I tell you, learn from other people's mistakes. Germany, as a country, focuses a lot on history. The longer you are in Germany, the more you speak German, the nicer people here are, the easier you get everything you want. They care about long-term things. They don't like people who are volatile, who move back and forth and check in, check out, job seeking visa and then study visa again. They don't like it. They like the precise process. The history of a student is arrival, program, internship, full-time job seeking visa, full-time job, permanent residence. They don't like error, like skip or change. No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
But if some German company is there and it has branch in some other country, and
Mhm.
if we'll go to that branch, is it okay?
Well, as an example, let's do BMW. No, yes, let's do BMW. So you work in Munich in BMW, and
Hmm.
then they send you to France on the contract
Hmm.
basis or whatever.
Hmm.
You have to clarify with them. First of all, when they consider people for that program, they always look at your nationality. So if your nationality qualifies, they will offer you that. If it doesn't, they don't even offer you that. If you qualify, then they have to sponsor you from that company. There can be two choices. Either first they hire you from France and they provide you visa. It means that your German story will be over, history of visa. Then you have to apply in French embassy in Germany and you get French visa, working visa, and you go there. Or number two variant, which is the best for everybody, you keep on being hired in Germany. You have a
Hmm.
contract from Germany and you just go to France. And every 6 months you must come back to Germany, fly to one day to like check in that you're still there. Otherwise you lose your visa. Then it's a good option. You have a salary from Munich or wherever you are in Germany. You still have a contract as if you're working and paying taxes in Germany, but you're physically present in France. But then you start having problems in France because you can't open any bank accounts. You can't register your address officially because you are not living in France officially. You are a tourist there. So
Okay.
normally company solves all these things. If you're a super qualified candidate, they will do everything for you. But my friends who are Mexican British, they had this problem. Um, they not well Mexican British didn't have a problem because she would transfer to Ernst. She was working in Ernst and Young in Mexico, and they would transfer her to UK because she has a British passport. Anybody who just had a Mexican passport was not allowed in UK. So um, when you go to Europe, choose one country for the start. You can become free 5 years after. Until then, complete your story in one country. I highly advise you that. Because again, European countries focus on stability. Stable, foreigners. Paying taxes, being there. Because if you're stable, they trust you and they give you benefits. Permanent residence, the residence of European Union, German passport. It's all about stability. For German passport, I had to bring 4 years salary statements. That I did not interrupt my stay in Germany for 4 years and my education in Germany, my diploma, and many other stuff, many other things. See, so that's from my experience and my students. So think about
Okay.
it.
And if yeah, and if it is like I am studying for 2 years and I'm
Mhm,
working in Germany for 2 years, but
mhm,
after that I want to come back to India.
mhm.
So after that, if I'm having a job, then only I can apply for the Germany visa.
So if you studied in Germany 2 years, you worked for 2 years after, or
After that, I want to come back to India.
so 4 years is not enough for anything. You need five.
Okay.
You need 5 years being in Germany to get permanent residence. So what happens if you study 2 years and you work 2 years and you leave Germany and your visa expires? Important point is that visa expired. If it did,
Okay.
you have to apply in German embassy in your country again as if you have never been to Germany. But if you leave Germany to your country, your visa didn't expire yet, and you come back within 6 months, you can't be
Mm,
abroad for more than 6 months. You come back for a day, and then you leave
mm,
again, and then you come back before your visa expires. So that's all important. You just had a gap, like a big gap. It's not a problem. You have to resume your work afterwards. And then you can still get a permanent residence if you prove that in that then 6 years' time or seven, you had 3 years paying taxes, working, and 2 years studies. So important is that your visa expires, you're out. That's it. It's over. If it didn't expire yet, and you keep coming back to the country back and forth every 6 months, not a problem. It just will take you
okay.
longer to get permanent residence. Just don't get to the point of expiration because that's it. They don't like. They consider it as irresponsible. They think you forgot that your visa expired and you just want to be back and extend it. They don't like it at all. Um, they will put you as a third priority. Like first priority is students with scholarships and like employed students. Second priority is visa denials, and third priority is people who had been to Germany and had their visa expired. It's like they don't like it. Don't do this. No. Consistency is the key. So if you know that in 4 years you will leave Germany, then make sure, like a few weeks before you leave, to extend your visa for a year, like with your employer or something, like find a way, and then go. Then come back for 1 day in 6 months, and then go again. So you kind of had a gap. If somebody asks you in the future in German, you can say family problems. But I am back and I'm working again now, kind of thing, you know?
Mhm.
Did I
Okay.
confuse
Yeah.
you? I hope not.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I got it.
when the time comes, I can help. I will still be here, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
One more thing, like I want to ask, how about like public schools and private schools? Is there any
Mhm.
much difference in that?
Well, I don't work with public schools because they don't reply to emails. So I don't want that. I know that public schools are cheap or free, and they're mostly in German language. Only 3% of the programs are in English, and I know that the groups are 100 to 500 students in a class. That's what I know about public. My friends studied there. It's if you study in India and you study in German public, it's absolutely the same. You learn by heart and you present your exam. That's it. In German universities, it's very difficult to enter public and it's very difficult to stay. So the main task of German universities, because they're free, is to get rid of you in the first 2 years of education because they don't have enough places in the third, fourth, or fifth semester or years. If I'm talking about bachelor. If about master, they want to get rid of you as soon as possible because they want only the strongest to survive. It makes sense. Only the best. Only the best can enter, and only the best can stay. Because of that, it's for free. Because they want to create the scientists. They want to create the. They want to pay for the best, which is absolutely fine for public universities. I understand they have a lot of incoming students, but not enough places. So that's cool. I work with private because I did private education myself, and I understood the differences. When you can ask questions, and the groups are from one of my schools has 8 students in a class, then you have up to 30 students in a class. It's English language and applied approach, new books, so American books, not books from the 1990s. And yeah, so there's a lot of benefits to both. I only work with private, so if
Okay.
you want private, then I will help you. If public, you're on your own, go for it. But you will not make it for March already. I can tell you that you're late. So you have to apply for September now if you want to go for public. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And how about accommodation and all? Suppose if we are ready to move, we got a visa, then how we will be setting up all these accommodation and all?
Depends on university. So some universities have connections with dorms, some don't. No universities in Germany offers dorms themselves. It's not like US. No, nobody lives here at university. In my website, you have a few articles helping you with accommodation search. So you search yourself. Universities can give you know-how, and I can give you know-how. And I mean, everybody has been through that already. You search for rooms, studio, or flats, and I have a list of dorms in every single big city. So
Okay.
you're not the first one. That's not a problem. Important is that you have to keep in mind how much it costs.
Okay.
In cities like Leipzig is 270 euro per month, but in cities like Munich it can be 7 or 800 euro per month. So important is that you check articles on my website. I wrote a lot of good information for you to know the average expenses, where to search and how to search. But this is a story for afterwards. You should learn a strategy of Germany. You have to solve problems after they appear because accommodation is not required until you have visa. And until you have visa, we are talking about in another 2, 3, or 4 months. First priority, because in December, universities don't really work. Universities are already in their vacation mood. Like They totally
Yeah.
like slack. So if you still want to come in March, February, or April, you have to make a decision before end of November. And the beauty of starting in summer semester, which is January to April, is because there's a lot of accommodation available because it's not Oktoberfest. And only 30% of schools start their second intake in summer. The majority start only in October. And in October, you have like 15,000 new students coming for each city. That's why here's your benefit already. Um,
And
yeah,
how
and
about part-time jobs? How about part-time jobs? Are they available?
I mean, everything is available. You have a permission to work. You can do internships in the summer, which is
Uh-huh.
full-time job. You can do part-time work which is not connected to your studies, which is like pizza delivery, restaurant works. It's easy. Otherwise, you can do Werkstudent. It's the program, it's a job which is connected to your studies at the company, and company has benefits for hiring working students, and you can get it. You can apply through LinkedIn and Xing and Stepstone and Glassdoor. So yes, I have friends and I have students who work while they're studying, but then how much do you dedicate to apply to job to get it? Job is not going to find you. So if you want to work and you apply, you will get it. You
Okay.
apply to 50, you will have like 7 replies, and out of 7, you will have 3 or 4 interviews, and you will choose one. So that's how it works. But to be able to do so, you have to apply to the.
I have heard that if you know German, then it will be very easy for you to find a part-time job. Is it like that?
Well, as I said, you can find part-time jobs without German, but you will find them easier, and you will have more of them if you speak German. Yes, of course. We're in Germany.
Okay, and what about vegetarian food there? Did we get?
In every city, you have Indian shops, and we have Indian temples. My students from Punjab are gathering every Sunday in big cities, in the temples, and they eat a lot of food. um,
Okay.
every city, every big city has Indian community and Indian Facebook groups, and you can definitely find a lot of restaurants. You can find a lot of grocery shops where they sell goods for you. So this is not a problem. In Germany, everybody speaks English, and especially in the big cities, Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Düsseldorf, Hanover, and Munich, you have so many foreigners, like crazy, like a lot. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Everybody speaks English here. So you will find whatever you're looking for. You just have to search for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the first foreigner, so don't worry about that. Choose a big city. Like, I would feel that Indians would feel really lonely and like culturally shocked in small cities in Germany. Small cities in Germany is like small cities in India, where everybody knows each other and everybody speaks their dialect, and you don't want to end up there. So go for the big cities, then you're gonna be fine.
I'm thinking that Munich will be the best place to go.
I love it. But I'm biased. Did I tell you that? I live in Munich 11 years. I think it's the best
Oh,
city in the universe, to be honest. Um, like I lived in 6 countries, and now I've been to 60 countries traveling. And for me, I still think Munich is the best place.
how's Berlin city?
I hate it. Well, Berlin. Either
Yeah.
you love it or you hate it. There is no middle, really.
Okay.
It's cheaper than Munich, way cheaper. It's way bigger than Munich. Berlin is the party startup capital of Germany, and it has a little bit of history left, like the wall and stuff. But Berlin was destroyed 99%. They had to rebuild it, and they had to rebuild it fast. Many people love it. It means artists, musicians, like actors. It's like New York or Los Angeles, like you come to become a star. So this is the city where you go for that. It's cheaper, but the salaries are lower. So at the end, the break even is the same. I think Berlin is for somebody who is into photography, filmmaking, music, I don't know, entrepreneurship, like the projects, digital nomad, for serious jobs. Hamburg, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Munich. That's, I think. Yeah. Cologne. Ah, yeah. Cologne is also cool. The reason why is because Cologne is more modern, Bavaria in the south, Munich is super conservative. Cologne is very modern and is located right next to Holland. And if you live and study in Cologne, you are allowed or you have a connection to Bonn and Düsseldorf. So if you're living in Köln, you can work in Cologne, Düsseldorf, and Bonn. Three cities in Germany. They're connected with underground together. And it's a cool area. They have their own accent, they have their own industry, mostly chemicals, IT, service industry, and they have a lot to offer.
What they will ask us.
Well, they ask about your motivation, why you want to come to Germany, what do you want to do after, about your background, what do you know about Munich, what do you know about school, professors, program. So you would have to evaluate your precise program and info about the school before. Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Uh, yeah, from my side also. It's
Okay,
completed.
good. If anything, let me know on WhatsApp. I'll make sure to get back to you if I'm not sleeping. I'm always there.
Okay.
Good. Alrighty, then have a nice evening and talk to you soon.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a
Anytime.
nice day. Bye bye.
Ciao.